What's up, everyone? Hope everyone's having a great day, doing very well. Today it's a sunny Sunday here in Seattle, but we got the weekly stream. I did a kind of like a impromptu and surprise live stream yesterday regarding the regarding the Hex all-time high that had happened. So I think that was really exciting. I think we hit an all-time high of like almost 24. We hit like 23. Let's see. 23.9. So we almost hit 24 pennies. Maddie Allen is very close to braiding them cornrows. And we've got kind of just some general Hex information. I do apologize if you can hear some background noise. The girlfriend's kind of getting ready for a little event that she's got going on. So that'll be going on for a little bit longer. But we got Richard Hart and this Brent guy that are hanging out. Richard had talked about that he's going to be, filming a documentary. I had heard about that a little bit from, I think it's the same crew that Gary Funding Gym used during Vegas. And if anyone's not familiar that wasn't there, we, myself and a handful of other Hexicans, filmed our experience. We did a little interview on the camera. And so I think those same people were flying out to Richard. But before we do the intro, let's just say what's up to the chat real quick. I know Motley Investor might have had a stream that he was going to do about the Charizard, right? The Charizard. It doesn't look like that's going on. He had set it for now he has it set for 28 minutes from now. So okay, cool. I don't mind going over that just a little bit because I got to do the normal stream too, but. Definitely go check that out if you're interested in the good old Pokemon, Charizard, stuff like that. Let's see. Let's say what's up to Identity Block. How you doing, man? I really enjoyed the last conversation that we had, and having you on the stream is always a great time, right? It's fun to. I usually like to monologue and kind of just rant to the camera and be able to answer as many questions as possible. But I love being able to have on people that are experienced, that have been following Richard for a while, and it's just really cool. So that was awesome to see you, most recently. Who else we got? So we got Spike, What's Up, Bran and Hex Fam, Paladin, YYZ. We got Kaz, and then for anyone that doesn't know, I know Kaz did a little Hex testimonial the other day, and I thought that was pretty cool, right? Just like I was telling Sweetheart Cindy and her husband, like EO2 Davis, something like that. It's really cool to see newer Hexicans on camera, right? Because I've been streaming for over a year on pretty much at least a weekly basis, and so everyone knows what I look like and kind of what I talk about, my personality. But it's just amazing to see new people. That's one of the things that really inspired me about David Feeder when I first saw his testimonial. Was not only had he been around for a while, but that testimonial had inspired him to, make the video for Richard. Sensei Dozy says, "What's up, Bran?" He was the first one in here, so shout out to him. And like I said, we'll kind of just be covering. I mean, yesterday we covered a lot, and it was the all-time high. And today we'll kind of just see. One thing I like to do on these streams to kind of start off with is just see where the actual price is compared to what it was last week. So, I mean, we can maybe just skip the intro for now and maybe do it a little bit later. But let's just see where we're at on a weekly basis here. So this past week, let's see, where's the numbers? Okay, so we're up nearly 25%, and we're just kicking ass and taking names. I mean, Hex four green weeks in a row. So just meaning pretty much one consecutive monthly candle after another is just really green. And I've got some stuff that I was setting up for the stream today, but right before I was doing that, I was watching Richard Hart content as always, and he's talked about that with the price on Hex that we've seen currently with all the gains, sure, it's great, but he thinks that we could possibly see much higher and much more aggressive moves in Hex, because the actual chart itself and what it's doing, it used to not follow technical analysis per se. but now it's really going up in a parabola. So I think that's really exciting. Let's see, what's up? Who we got here? Hex Vader. Hey, what's up, man? And I'll switch back to that in just a second, but let's just be respectful to the chat real quick. Y'all could stream together. Yeah, I know him and I have streamed, at least a handful of times, definitely. So that's really exciting. And, I tell you what, Identity Block, Papa Boner, who else? Like Walrus and some of these other guys, they spend a lot of their time in the Pulse Chain Com Telegram. And I think that's really exciting and, should be praised, right? Because no one's paying me. No one's paying Identity Block or Papa B for the time that they're spending. It's all out of passion, right? Like I said, everyone kind of has their own thing that they bring to the table that's unique. And, even people being able to help mod and help answer questions is a really, really big deal. All right, cool. So, Ash, yeah, I know Ash was saying yesterday that they were getting a little bit nervous because they had said that they were going to do a hex tattoo at $1. So that's cool. And yeah, I mean, could be by the end of the year is definitely my opinion. I think we'll hit $1 before then, but that's cool, right? We've seen so many, just so many different hexagons. I can't even think of them all. I was actually thinking of Hexray Vision, I think, on Twitter, but he's got a really cool, forget where it's at. But anyways, so many tattoos, right? If you look at the amount of tattoos that the Bitcoin community has accumulated over, say, 12 years, something like that, hexagons are definitely outpacing it. And Richard was saying that, like, in the same video I was alluding to earlier, that we really haven't seen anything yet. And he was saying, like, oh, you think it's some people joke about, it being a cult now, like, wait till kids are like naming their kids Hex and stuff. That was his joke, but I could see people doing it. So I thought that was kind of funny. Let's see. Yeah, so we got 53 people in the chat. Thanks everyone for spending your time with me. If anyone has any questions, please do ask. Hex Slams says, I really want to buy more Hex, but the gas is just too much. I totally know what you mean. It really is something that is inhibiting the not only the growth of Hex on this current chain that we have, right? In the future, you'll be able to have a cheaper chain option, but just the ETH network as a whole is kind of stagnating. And just, anyways, I'm happy that people like BSC and Matic and other forks of Ethereum have existed, EVMs, because it shows that Ethereum's just kind of been sitting on their thumbs a little bit too long, and other people can do it with the the technology and the code that's out there. So I love this name, right? T-Share Master. It says, Brand the man, what's up, amigo? How are you doing? Let me actually look at the chat because I see I had a little double. I see that you got a little car there, so I thought that was kind of, let's see where that is, T-Share Master. So yeah, shout out to him. He's got a little, what does he got? Okay. Got a guy with the, anyways, that's funny. So hexagons definitely have a lot of humor, and it's cool, right? One of the things that we're going to be covering today is Richard. He's had some recent hex flexes, like I said, with him filming the documentary, and at least that's what I'm pretty sure he's doing. I mean, he's mentioned it, and I've heard about it beforehand too. So, but it's really cool to see hexagons kind of epitomizing what the Bitcoiners have always talked about, right? The Bitcoiners have always talked about, masculine and testosterone and stuff like that, even though they look like they eat soy all day and don't have much muscle. And I don't mean to say that too demeaning, but like the hexagons, like there's just a distinct difference. So, it's kind of like that meme of like, here's the guy that she tells you not to worry about versus you, So Bitcoin is you, and the guy that she tells you not to worry about is Hex, P-Hex, Pulse, stuff like that. So just thought that was kind of funny. I mean, we've got a lot of not only military, but just a lot of people with a whole bunch of experience. And when I was talking to people about, oh, I know someone in Florida, or oh, I know a billionaire here, my brother was saying, like, dude, you would have never had that opportunity had it not been for Hex and had you not been, a part of the community and stuff like that. Because most billionaires, I mean, they're usually not going to communicate with you, right? Unless you have something in common like that. So I think a lot of Hexicans, not only do we have a cool community, that's awesome, but like Motley Investor has said, there's just so much talent inside the community of people that we have right now that you don't really need to, not saying that you can't, but you don't really need to like go outside of the circle when it comes to whatever you're looking for. So let's see. Hey, forward thinking. So I actually did make a clip right before this of what Richard thinks on not PX. Sorry, let's erase that from the vernacular. I did a clip of what Richard had said about Hex price versus eHex. So Hex is going to be just the Hex on Pulse chain, and eHex is obviously the Ethereum one. But I think honestly, I think the price is going to. I think it's going to do. I think it's going to be more than eHex personally. The reason I think that is because you're just going to have so much more economic mass. Not only transacting, which is going to be great, right? It's going to burn 25% of the pulse on each of those transactions. But people like I think Ash or someone else had mentioned. Someone had mentioned recently that they wanted to buy more Hex, but it was cost prohibitive because of the gas. So we're going to have a lot of people that are in that scenario already that are going to be able to finally, click the buy button. And so the other thing why I think about that, why I think personally that, not to say that I don't think Hex is going to be expensive on both chains, I do. But when it comes to utility, when it comes to value, when it comes to what the cost should be, in my opinion, based on a supply and demand, I would personally think that PX is going to definitely going to take the winner right there. And the other thing I'll say before I move on to the next comment, good to see you, Andrew. The other thing I was going to say is the reason that Richard is airdropping everyone else, not airdropping, that's actually a wrong word, but the reason that he's forking the Ethereum system state with everything there is because all of these other people have had issues too. Like I said, Vitalik's kind of just off in his own little corner. You don't see him on live stream, stuff like this. But Richard, you see, I mean, it's almost on a weekly basis that you see him live stream, and when he doesn't, it's kind of like a rarity, But the point is Richard is very accessible. He's very open with what he wants to do, and Vitalik's going back to writing like political bets and just just stuff that's not related to lowering the gas fees and things like that personally. So we got Andrew, we got Wake Dog says, I like that random purple line. Yeah, I mean, I'm not a like TA chartist or master or anything like that, but just what I see generally, like I said, just generally as kind of a trend. I mean, that's just the monthly, but if you look at the, let's zoom. Sorry about this. Let's zoom out just a smidge. So like, if you kind of just look at the daily, which is pretty much what Richard only charts, it has kind of followed this major trend line from here. It almost tapped it, but then here, and then these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like 5 touches there. I think if it does go back down to this line, it's going to explode up. But either way, there's just so much potential and so much energy, like I mentioned yesterday, just coiled up in Hex, and it's really exciting. I mean, I'm seeing my family members, my friends, my girlfriend start to come around to Hex in the mechanisms. And I've said this before, but it's really cool because for myself, getting into Hex, day one OG, knew about Richard since 2017 and had followed him then. For some of us, it took longer than for others when it comes to understanding the value of the T-shares, why they mimic compounding interest. And so the point that I'm getting at is, let's see, like yesterday and the day before, it finally, it clicked. And my girlfriend's like, oh my gosh, I have Hex coming out on, Christmas, my birthday, stuff like this. And the cool thing about it is similar to my dad that had some Hex that I had staked for him that ended. For the GF, what I can do is, if she wants to take scoop a little bit of interest off, she can. That's cool. But what we're going to do is she even understands. She's like, well, I don't want to cash all of it out. Like I still want to be earning that interest daily. I mean, look at how much it's worth right now. And so it's awesome, right? It's really cool to see the product of Hex working like it should, which is staking it, treating it almost like a CD. And Richard's talked about, I mean, when it comes to general like price dynamics, you've got supply and demand. And what happens when the supply keeps getting reduced because they're lengthening their stakes longer. Every time that they end stake, some people, they're selling all the way out. That's fine. They made a dope profit and good for them. But other people, they're saying, oh my God, I had, say you had, I don't know, just say like 50 T shares in one stake. And then say you realize the stake and then now you want to restake it. Well, that T-share rate never goes down in Hex, right? In dollars it fluctuates, but the point is the cost of the T-share is going to be significantly higher, unless it was like a one-day stake. It's going to be significantly higher than when you first did the stake. So a lot of us have noticed that too, and what it does, Richard's talked about this, the war for longer stakes is what he coined it. But it makes people want to stake out for longer and keep their T-shares for as long as possible. So let's say what's up to the rest of the chat. And shout out, I mean, it's amazing, right? We are really, really growing. And this is just sub-dollar. Right now, we've got 94 people watching. Yesterday, I had pretty much like my all-time high of like 197 people watching. And it's awesome, right? Not only is Richard having success, growth, in his channel and in his endeavors, but we're all a part of that. And we might not all be 165 IQ Mensas and stuff like this, but what Richard talks about is, hey, if he can explain why he feels a way or explain like an argument on a point, then you can pretty much be as smart as him by just replicating what he's saying and understanding the logic of why he's saying that. So let's see. He says, it would be great to hear, what do you think about Pulse and profit potential? I mean, Bitcoin's number one right now on market cap, and it doesn't do anything, right? You can just buy it and send it. And with Ethereum, obviously that's top 2 market cap. I think Pulse is going to really going to surprise a lot of people. And I think it's going to, honestly, I think it's going to do what Hex has done. If not more aggressive. We just have more mass, right? And there's just so many people that Hex has been around since December 2nd, 2019, and that was it had been like delayed like 8 months before, but you had so many people that had the opportunity to invest early, like day one early adopter stuff, and they didn't. And so my point that I'm getting at is I think a lot of those people, they're not going to want to miss the boat with Pulse, because Pulse Chain is just going to be that network. And the other beautiful thing about Pulse is it's not so controversial as Hex was, right? People, like I said, people like Richard Hart have been able to establish themselves in the space. So when it was him, a Bitcoin maxi, he had gotten a lot of hate, a lot of flack, but still had very good points. And then now he's finally had let's see, Hex. What day are we on? Day 636. So 636 days of 100% uptime, flawless code, flawless computing. Because it's a crypto, but Hex is really a smart contract. That's one thing that I really try to tell people is that it is like a smart contract. And so that code is audited 3 times. It's got, what does it have? 2 security audits, and then 1 financial audit. And so the financial audit proves that, hey, this actually does what Richard's claiming it to, or what Kyle in the layman's guide is claiming it to. And anyways, the other part of it too is, people wonder like, oh, there's so many hacks and stuff like that. Why has Hex not been vulnerable to that? Well, it's like the code is already complete in the smart contract, and then they locked it. And then, you can, even though it's locked, you can still have like admin keys, stuff like that. And then they took the admin key and just threw it away, So you've got something that's literally immutable. And, I've seen actually Richard Hart as well as other people like Vitalik. But I don't even know how I found out a bit about this. I think I was just looking at like Tornado Cash, which is like anonymizing Ethereum. But anyways, I had somehow found out that like, I think I typed in like Tornado Cash, Richard Hart, and I found out that Richard Hart was one of the funders, of the Tornado Cash project. And so he's definitely got that that cypherpunk. Sorry about this. I need to drink some water. 1 second here. Richard Hart definitely has that cypherpunk mentality of kind of like not asking for permission, and trusting, like Richard talks about this world, which I really think we're going into. And I think a lot of us have already experienced this already. But imagine a world where, you're not having to trust individual people or corporations or governments or entities, but you can just trust the code, right? You don't have to have someone representing something. I mean, there's no controller of Hex. Someone could jail Richard Hart tomorrow. They could do whatever, and Hex is still immutable. So I think that's really cool. Hey, what's up, Wrenchy T? How are you? I would too, but banned. Not sure what oh my God. 1 second, Toby. 1 second. Let me say what's up to everyone real quick, and then yeah, if you still want to chat later, I know we might want to have a call if you still want. So Gavin Milner says, heroes for the cause, Palladian, YYZ, all praise the chat lords. Yeah, I mean, the chat's great, right? If at the beginning of streaming and stuff like that, just like with anything, you don't necessarily start off at the most success, and it's a slow battle. And that's where Hexologist really had really good advice for me, which was, hey man, don't get discouraged. You see one or two people on the stream, stuff like that. Just stay consistent, build a schedule, and then people know, oh, okay, Brandon streams on Sundays at 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So yeah, I appreciate everyone in the chat. It's been so cool to see people that have been there since day one too. And there was kind of like a meme that I just like modded everyone, which I pretty much did. It's kind of like incentivizing them to stay. But anyways, yeah, we got it. We got a whole bunch of band hammers in the chat, which no one really acts out anyways, which is great. And I don't see many spam bots in there, which is great too. But yeah, let's say what's up to the chat. I mean, we've got a lot of people, so let me just be real quick about this. I know Toby's got like a $500 donation, so I don't want to skip on that too much. I don't want to make him wait for too long. So you know what? Let's just do that now. That's kind of like the priority and the precedent. So. And then Sinclair, you'll go next since yours is the one after Toby. So yeah, shout out. Let me just say something. So shout out to Toby1 Hexobi. He is a Hexican OG, and every time that I've talked with him and heard his ideas on Pulse or Hex, because he's an admin in the chats and stuff, and would hear him on the audio chat. He comes from similar to Richard, where it's kind of like not much emotion and stuff like that. Well, maybe it is, but it's just logic driven. What he's talking about, from what I've noticed, is very unbiased for the most part and very logic driven. And so I always like talking to him. Him and I have chit-chatted a couple times, and proud to call him a friend as well. And geez, 1 second here. Okay, cool. So anyways, and I got to meet him in Vegas, and same thing with Super Hex, and just a handful of the people that really got to spend some good time with. So anyways, Toby says, he says, let me zoom in because this doesn't natively zoom in. 1 second, y'all. To the true embodiment of what I always call the Hexican philosophy, it takes more than owning Hex to be a Hexican. Bran talks the talk and walks the walk. Bravo. Integrity above all, and karmic gains follow the financial. And then he says, #inspired. Yeah, that's cool. I really appreciate that. The cool thing about the Hexicans is we just got, like I said, just a strong unit. And I mentioned it before a lot, but yeah, you can only be as strong as your weakest link, right? So kind of like that movie, Full Metal Jacket, right? The guy that's eating jelly donuts and making everyone do all the push-ups because he's sloughing and fat and lazy and stuff like that. That was the weakest link, and that held them down from succeeding otherwise, which would have been a big group of people. And so Hexicans and Hex, we just really not only have a big truth engine, but just everyone kind of sticks together, and it's an abundance mentality. I made a clip, I think, from yesterday's stream of like the cup overflowing, and you can't obviously, if you have a cup that's empty, you can't, pour anything into someone else's cup because obviously it's empty. But when the cup is overflowing, it's like, oh, here's some of this, like take what I have that's valuable because mine's overflowing and I don't need all of it. And, even if I wanted to, I couldn't. So shout out to Toby. Yeah, very stand-up guy. We'll do Sinclair's. We'll do his super chat. Thank you, by the way, for Toby and Sinclair. And then we'll scroll up a little bit and just try and be quick about the I don't want to miss too many people. So try and be quick about the comments. So Sinclair, I think he was the other guy. Let's see. Yeah, I definitely met him in Vegas too. Sinclair Crypto, really good guy. We chit-chatted for a few minutes when we're eating lunch one day, I think at the Hex restaurant. But anyways, shout out to those guys. Shout out to everyone watching. And let me just go up in the chat real quick. And I want to see if there's any questions that I may have missed. Oh, yeah. Yeah, cool. It's either Paladin or Paladin. I think it's Paladin, but I butcher names all the time. So anyways, Paladin YYZ says, thank you, by the way, says, don't let the gas get you down. Many moving parts to juggle, but the math says to just get in and chill. Yeah, and the math also does say, to your point, that, big payday was like a huge incentivization for people to stake and for people to stake longer, which was great. We got a huge bonus, but that wasn't necessarily guaranteed. Nothing is, but that wasn't guaranteed. The amount that you were seeing before big payday was what you were going to get. We had to wait for the big payday, which the OA staked. And the point is with Pulse Chain, what we have is a guarantee. There's not many guarantees, but what we know is Pulse Chain is going to have a duplicate of everything. And that block height that is the fork, that's going to contain all the system state of Ethereum. So I know Joe yesterday, and I even made a little clip too, but he had asked, like, when do you think the snapshot's going to be? And currently the biggest hang up, literally like a hang or something like that, is on the testnet. They're wanting to make sure that the infrastructure is there properly, which I think they already have, but they just, with some of the recent EIP 1559 and Ethereum improvement proposals, it's kind of slowed it down just a little bit. So as far as that goes, that's the other thing too, is delayed gratification is always rewarded. And so for the people that are trading right now and, when's the snapshot? Not saying to this anyone specifically, but, if you're trading and then you want to get in for just a snapshot, well, it's probably going to be a little while, but the people that did wait and that had their stakes and stuff like that, they're going to be immensely rewarded, right? Because, not only T-shares on the Ethereum network, which a lot of us have just seen absolutely mad gains, but all of that interest, all of that big payday stuff, all of that, the T-shares are all going to get copied over too. And I think that's a really underrated part. And honestly, like, I'm set with the T-shares that I have. But then to think how much I sacrificed, how much hex I sacrificed in dollar amount, and then to think also that now I'm set on hex for Ethereum, but then going to get a copy on Pulse Chain. It's just absolutely amazing. And I said hex. A lot of people in hex have become recently minted millionaires, which is great. That's awesome. Whether most of it's just net worth, right? It's not like everyone's going to sell all of their hex and have $1 million in the bank. What's that going to do? But the point is there's definitely going to be the first billionaires created in hex, and we've already seen Rackham, Rochelle, Overwatch partners have big whales in hex and stuff. So let's get back to the rest of the chat. I kind of rambled on there for a second here. Okay, cool. So we've covered this. So yeah, shout out to Paladin. Yeah, I agree. When it comes down to, because someone else asked me this too, in a direct message, they're saying, hey, are you still recommending your family or people to buy if they're interested? And I told them yes, and it's not like I'm recommending anything, because I'm not. But my opinion with where we're at, with the gains that we've seen, and with where we're going, and with those guarantees of if you're a staker, you're going to get it copied. for the T shares. If you have it liquid, you're going to get copied. So I was kind of telling him about that, hey, maybe yesterday, right? Maybe yesterday you bought the recent top, which when we go to the screen, and let me get the comment off the screen. Thank you again, Platin, Sinclair, and Toby. But yeah, so when we go back to the screen real quick here, let's do this. What was I even going to say? Yeah, kind of. Oh, okay. Gee, sorry about that. Remember what I was going to say. I've been fasting all day trying to get back into it. But so say yesterday, right? You bought the top, which was nearly 24 pennies. Let's just call it 24 pennies. Well, I mean, right now it's at 22.6 pennies. So big whoop. You have like a quote unquote loss on paper. But if you're staking it anyways, and if you're doing other stuff with the hex anyways, then you kind of know that the key to hex and the key to anything, right? Whether it be weight loss. I mean, shout out to Richard for doing this because he's really inspired people like myself that have kind of not been on that train. So I'm trying to get back onto it. But he always talks about delayed gratification is pretty much it's always the thing that requires for like self-help to be successful. And so whether it be delaying your gratification today, say you spend a lot of money eating out, right? Or just different things that you spend your money on. Well, hey, maybe instead of doing it once a week, maybe you can do it once a month and still save some money, because a lot of people, they can tell themselves excuses that are actually not true. So they can continue living the way that they've been, which is just comfortable. Because why do they want to sacrifice if they're not used to it? So it's really cool to see the delayed gratification paying off. Like I said, dude, Richard has lost a lot of weight, and it's really inspiring, Kaz, let's see. We actually got this guy too. Gavin, how you doing? But Pulse Donkey Hex, yeah, that guy's always in the chat, and he's got these little Snapchat emojis too. So shout out to him. Says, you're alive, Brandon Ballietbran. Nice to see you. hello, Hexicans. Howdy. I'm really grateful for all the time so many people put in. Yeah, I would actually be curious. I mean, there's probably analytics that do it automatically, but I would be curious because I've got my YouTube channel that I've had since I was 9, right? So some of these videos are just not relevant to Hex at all. But I'd be curious to see how much time that I've streamed and recorded on other people's channels from when I started to where it's at now. Like it's probably like 1,000 hours, something like that. So it's and other people too. I mean, heck, look at Hexologists that was streaming every single day up until Vegas. When do we hit $10? That's a good question. Like I said, I personally think $1 by the end of the year is conservative, and I know some people. Sorry about this. I know some people calling for like 10, 20, stuff like that. But $1 is kind of similar to like Hexo, right? He's got like a $2.01 price prediction. I think that is very feasible. That or $1, stuff like that. As far as $10, I mean, personally, I think it's going to be probably by next year sometime, right? So sometime in 2022, I think we're really going to, once we pass that $1, we're just going to, we've already been ramping up in the spring has been coiling and getting tighter, but I think we're really going to see, an explosion once we pass $1. And I think $10 will be, just like a penny to 10 pennies, it'll be just like that with $1 to $10. When dip, yeah, I mean, you've got the demand, right? That's one of the clips that I wanted to do. I've got it recorded. I just need to edit it. But yeah, Richard talks about like, the person asked like, why is the hex price constantly going up? And like I said earlier, it's pretty much just supply and demand. And when you're staking hex, which there's a lot of stakers, and anyway, so when you're staking hex, you're removing it from the supply, which is making it more rare. And then in return, the person that's staking is being rewarded inflation, right? So they're being rewarded for doing something good, for delaying gratification. So those people are probably less likely to just dump on everyone's head too in the future when those stakes do end. And yeah, if anyone's got any questions, I got a lot of chat to cover, but I'll try and cover, all of it as much as I can. And yeah, I don't know if Motley actually ended up going live yet, but I know he had planned on doing it at like 2:30. So, feel free to go check out his Charizard thing if you want, or, later, whatever you want. So Sensei Dozy says, it's hard to believe we're still only just, it's still only just the beginning. I wonder where we'll be by December 2022. Yeah, I mean, for a lot of us, OGs and stuff in the first years, a penny was like a target and an accomplishment. And it had already hit a penny by the end of the year. And then on New Year's, it had hit 2 pennies. And so, yeah, I definitely agree. I don't know what the prices are, right? Like, I don't know what they're going to be, but all I do know is what I have control over, which is the t-shirts that I have, the delayed gratification by, not spending everything or selling everything, just being primarily staked. And I know this is just the beginning, right? Hex has gone up. Let's actually go to the other website. But so yeah, Hex has officially gone up 4,037x, and it's designed to do 10,000x in 2.5 years, which is what Ethereum did from its ICO of 5 pennies, something like that. Dan Best, if I ever have a kid, I would name him Hexo. Great. When do we hit? Okay, I think I already covered those. Oh, who hits it first? That's a good question. I'm bullish on Pulse. I'm really bullish on, not Pulse, but I'm bullish on Hex. That's on the Pulse chain. And then eHex, that's great, but people are just getting screwed over in fees. Like, even for the big stakers, like, I don't know, say you have like, this isn't even, I don't know, everyone's relative of a big is different, but say you had like a $10,000 worth of a stake that was ending. Well, some of these people are paying like, $300, $400, $500, something like that. And when you look at it compared to the total, it's just taking away from, the ROI that you would normally have. So yeah, don't let the gas get you down. I agree. Henry, how you doing, man? It's nice to see him and his wife too in Vegas. Hexflex, take a flight to space. Yeah, I'll be quick about this because I got some more important stuff to cover. Not more important than the chat, but shit, Richard's been Hexflexing. Let's do that now. Actually, let's 1 second here. Yeah, and I'll tell you what, it's really cool to see Richard, not only because he'd always kind of had his little background with the candelabra and the Swarovski crystal, stuff like that, but it's been cool to see him treating himself, right? Treat yourself. All right, so let's go to the share screen, and so yeah, Richard's officially over 100,000. He's at like 103.4 thousand followers. So let's just go to his Twitter, and we'll just see what's going on. Let's do this real quick. Hey bro, can you explain Lelix Laley? Hey bro, can you explain why the market cap in Hex is not important for the price? Well, what it comes down to is it really is just a vanity metric, right? So you've got the circulating supply times the price that it's at. And even with Bitcoin, Hex is very similar to Bitcoin in that Satoshi owns a million Bitcoin, right? But they've never really circulated. And I know that the OA, whoever the entity is, whatever it is, I know that has staked, and so technically it has circulated, stuff like that. But it's pretty much a similar concept, right? Where it's just kind of like a vanity metric, right? Because the price could just, we could shoot up to $1, $10 tomorrow with the minimum viable liquidity that we have, and you multiply that by the circulating supply, and now it's just ridiculous. So it really does come down to, and think about this, right? Pulse chain is going to be in the trillions of supply, and Richard has mentioned that it needs to be that way because it's completely deflationary. And so as opposed to forking the Pulse chain network in the future, if it ever had like not enough supply, instead of forking it and reducing the decimal, I guess, changing the decimal, they wanted to just start off with the huge supply. But the reason that it's irrelevant, maybe someone else can do a better job of explaining it. But I mean, yeah, pretty much what you have is the supply, demand, the liquidity, stuff like this. That's kind of determining the price. And you multiply that by supply, and you look at people like Richard that's done Hex or Pulse chain. The supplies are a lot bigger than most cryptocurrencies we've seen in the past. And so, anyways, I'll get back to what I was saying earlier. kind of got a little bit distracted. Maybe I need to work on my pitch a little bit more when it comes to why it's a vanity metric, but it definitely is. I probably have some clips on my YouTube channel of it. But so, anyways, this is Richard's Twitter. All right, let's get to it. So yeah, and just this is really cool, right? So he's following under 500 people, has over 100,000 followers. That's a great ratio. And you see, we've done 233x in Ethereum. We've done 761x against Bitcoin, and what else we got? Against dollar, 4,033x, something like that. But yeah, so let's get back to the point. So Richard, he posted this 2 hours ago. Let's just make sure everyone can see. Great. So he says, Hex.com is awesome. Just got my AP. It's a 42 millimeter Rolex Saru. Next to it is the 40 millimeter all factory set diamonds in both. Cool. And then we can just do this. Check this out. So if you're on Chrome or Brave or Firefox, there's different extensions. AdBlock Plus is something you should do, so you're not paying for YouTube Premium and seeing ads. But then same thing with Hover Zoom. So that's what I use here. So anyways, that's on the left here. Let me click so I can actually point with the cursor. So yeah, this is Richard's new watch that he was talking about. It's sorry about that, 2 millimeters bigger than the one in the middle right there. And then as you can see, the hex chain that he's had forever is there on the right. So I really think that this hex flex idea is movement, I guess. I don't know what the hell you'd call it, but I really think the hex flex thing is awesome, right? Richard talks about why he does this, why he not virtue signals, because that's not the right word, why he social signals, right? Why he's wearing Louis Vuitton and instead of his own brand, and why he's doing all this other stuff. It's because people like to see that proof of work. And just like people like in Bitcoin, that it's proof of work, people like to see that in real life, where celebrities have, material goods to prove that they're successful. Because you look at some of the people that Richard's interviewed with that have pretended that they were like successful and good traders and stuff, and you look at their backgrounds and it's just like, dude, are you like, did you move back in with your parents, or like, are you in like a shed or something? Because you don't look very wealthy if that's what you're claiming. So let's get back to it, because I kind of just got off track for a second. So the hex flex thing is a really cool movement. Let's scroll down a little bit here. Richard actually, he does have before we get to that, he's got like a massive thread of, rug pulls, hacks, admin keys, stuff like this. And so he referenced this, which is copies of failed 2017 Ponzi's are being listed and promoted, aka SafeMoon. It's a copy of Proof of Weak Hands. It's either Proof of Weak Hands or like Proof of Weak Hands 3D, something like that. But definitely, Ponzi scheme. And it's funny because one of the people that I know close to me, they were crap talking Hex a lot, and they didn't like Richard. They still don't like Richard, and they sold all their Hex before big payday, or maybe on big payday, at like 20% of a penny. And I was showing my girlfriend, I was like, you wonder why this person's so bitter about Hex and wants me to be like failing and stuff, because he could have had 107 times his money if he would have just held liquid. And then he could have had a lot more if he had staked for even just a big payday. So let's get back to it though real quick. So yeah, this is Richard, and the other guy is he's in the thumbnail. It's Brent. I think that's his name. One second here. Let's Brent Morsey. So we'll go to his tweet in just a second. But since we're on Richard's main thread, actually, I don't even think you can hear the volume, right? Yeah, you can't hear the volume because I didn't click share screen. Give me just a second. Let me stop sharing it and share it again. And in that way, we'll check the box. So I guess you can hear a couple gunshots. I'm not going to cover the whole video on this, but I want to cover Richard's Ferrari that he bought or rented. Like, it's got really low miles. So you might want to hear the audio for that. All right, so let's look at this one. Okay, so yeah, Hex.com lets you enjoy your life, right? And that's really what Hex is about. I look at someone like myself that's recently retired as of like just a week ago, something like that. And just because like you're retired doesn't mean you're not still working. But it just allows you to have the opportunity of doing what you want on your own time, and not having to abide by someone else's schedule that's your boss or employer, or feel like you have to censor yourself because you might get fired and stuff like this. So it's really cool, the opportunity that someone like myself is a 24, almost 25 in a couple months, in less than a couple months, but that I've been provided by just listening and educating myself daily. And so many other people have been able to retire, and in the future will be able to, thanks to just the mad gains. All right, so we'll look at this real quick, and then I'll actually do the intro because I got to fill up this water real quick. So let's look at this. So yeah, Richard, he's out with one of the Hexicans. We'll go to the guy's channel in just a second because he's got some pretty cool Hex flexes as well. I think he bought like a McLaren recently and just some other stuff. So the point is these people aren't just faking it. They're not just renting it, right? Rackhammer Shell, Overwatch, he didn't just rent the Lambo. Like he owns it. So this is somewhere in Estonia, I believe. But so yeah, him and the other guy, they're kind of just hanging out. And oh, dude, this is kind of actually cool. Not a huge Louis fan, but this is just kind of like a cool little design of just some Louis in a Hex logo. So I think that's cool. So yeah, we'll get to this Ferrari post in just a second, and we're not going to cover the whole stream on this, but I just want to show people. Same thing with Crypto Sparbuch. Patrick, he got a dope chain, but just to show people that hey, this isn't fluff. This isn't BS. This is people's lives that have really changed. And to the other person yesterday on my stream that asked me like, Bran, what is your first Hex flex going to be? I don't know. I don't really need anything, but I mean, now that I have excess and stuff like that and more than enough, like I'll probably have to think of something. So yeah, without further ado, let me just do the intro. It's an 88-second intro. Shout out to Joe Hexotic that created it and that allows me to use it. Every time I try and shout him out to make sure that the credit is due where it needs to be. So we're going to do the intro real quick, and then I'll see everyone in 88 seconds. And yeah, if you have any questions, ask them now, because I'm going to go down the rest of the chat and try and answer as many questions as possible before we end the stream. So without further ado, 88-second break.
Be sure to hit that subscribe button. Be sure to like, be sure to share, be sure to comment. Yeah. Say hey. Say hey. Say hey. Jackpot. We still jackpot, bitch!
Thank you, Richard, for creating and founding the most amazing and disruptive financial technology cryptocurrency ever. Thank you, sir. And nice streams, Mr. Ballietbran.
Cool. So yeah, shout out to everyone that's stayed through the intro, that's still listening, watching, and spending your time here on this Sunday afternoon with me. So yeah, let's get back to the post real quick. So Richard saying, hey, what time is it? Ferrari time. Like I said, it's been cool to see him get Rolexes and all that stuff in his castle. But it's also, you can tell he's he's been ready to get outside and go about and do some stuff. So it's cool to see. He says, so Ferrari time, says my Rolex. Hex.com lets people live their dreams. Let me make sure. Okay, you guys can still see. So Hex.com lets people live their dream. My dream is to make everyone in the world happy, healthy, and rich. Hex just hit 23 cents. This was yesterday. 2 days ago, and the price chart is pointed up to $100. And so he's got this photo of him at the Ferrari dealer, and here's a little video of him driving it.
Hello, everybody. It's Richard Hart here. Just having a little fun driving around in the brand new Ferrari Roma. In front of us, we have Brent, the Hex 1 plate. Look at that bad boy. Hello, everybody. It's Richard Hart here.
So Brent, we'll go to his Twitter in just a second, but he's the one that bought a McLaren, and I believe that was the McLaren. So yeah, Richard's got a quick little 19-second. It's cool to see him smile and being happy, and so it looks like he got the white one. So anyways, I kind of just wanted to cover some of Richard's most recent tweets, right? We've got the constant rug pulls. I guess there's a Kong City token scam, so developers rug pull the coin, and lo and behold, the person that I was referring to earlier that was saying why shouldn't they invest in SafeMoon, we're thinking that Hex is a rug pull and stuff like this, and that's fine if they wanted to think that at the beginning. But after 636 days of 100% uptime, what is the substance of the person's argument? You've got triple audited code, you've got no admin keys, things like that. We've seen the opposite of a rug pull since its inception, and we've actually seen that magic carpet ride that Richard's talking about. So it's cool to see Richard, like I said, outside, out and about. This was in Estonia, I believe. So that was his little stuff that I wanted to cover, and then just real quick, so you guys know who the other person is that he's talking about, Brent. I've seen him a handful of times on Twitter and follow him, but I didn't know him and Richard were hanging out, so that's pretty cool. Shooting shit up with Rich. So yeah, Brent seemed like a really cool guy. He does have like a McLaren and a Hex Flex that maybe I can show in the media section right here. Oh, cool. That's the McLaren. That's cool. I actually didn't see this video, so I'm happy that I clicked on it. But yeah, so this is Brent, his channel, his Twitter channel. He says you can buy this Hex book on Amazon for $5 in the USA, €6 in Europe. And how awesome is the Hex community for making things like this? And I actually have it right here. I did cover it a little bit yesterday, but it's made by Joachim Christensen. So you can just type in that name on Amazon, or you can just type in the title right there. And I still need to read it. I've only read like a couple pages, but I think it's a proper avenue, right? Everyone kind of has multiple points of contact, and like with sales, right? They say I think it's like 8 or 10 calls before like the person's kind of on the hook, and you need to, when you're advertising, not just advertise on the internet because that might be younger generation stuff. But yeah, newspapers and mail advertisements and television and in books. And so that's what we have there. Obviously he wrote the book himself, but I think it's really cool. And for $5, like, come on, I bought a couple and now I'm thinking about it. I'm just going to buy like 30 or 40 of them and just give them to people that are close to me, that are still curious about Hex, and that maybe don't want to go through the Google, websites that might try and deter them into thinking that it's a scam or something. So yeah, shout out to Brent. He's got some really cool stuff. Yeah, he's got the photos of the Pulse Chain advertisement and the Hex advertisement at this soccer game. So that was really cool. And then some kind person, some nice person, they sent a Hex advertisement and a Pulse Chain advertisement to all of the recipients. Oh, sorry, I wasn't even sharing. Whoops. So they had sent the Hex and the Pulse Chain advertisements to all the recipients of the Ledger hack. So, all right, let's get back to some comments. I know I'm missing a lot. So, whoops. Toby says, "Hey, Bran, loving all the new uploads." Thanks, man. Yeah, I'm. One of the guys I actually talked with, KCW. He was, him and I were in Vegas at the Hex thing, and he's like, yeah, I think, his opinion to me and advice to me was just like, kind of find like not where you fit in, but like don't just try and make videos or topics about stuff that everyone else is doing. Like try and be a little bit creative and try and kind of have something that separates you from, the next hexagon and stuff like that. That way you're not just all repeating the same message. So that's what I'm trying to do, at least with some of these questions that I see over and over. And same thing with like the little evergreen clips, right? Matt, Crypto Coffee, same thing with Gerardo, but those two are really good. Same thing with Huddle Dog, but they're really good at, answering a question in detail in maybe 8 or 10 minutes, maybe 4 to 10 minutes. And that's kind of like the perfect amount of time for people's attention span. Because the other thing is too, like Quant Gang, they've got like an average of like 4.5 hours, something like that. That's great. But not everyone has that attention span. And I know that there's a lot of people, myself included, that love to listen to it in the background and engage with it. But when it comes down to being a creator, producing and making stuff like this, I'm just trying to experiment a little bit and have more clips after this to do. So shout out to that. Pray for those in Ida's path. ETH fees up 153% today. Yeah, if we go to the share screen real quick and we type in, I like gas now, so gasnow.org. I mean, you can go to etherscan.io/gas tracker, I believe. But let's see what it is. So let's just do the standard, because why not? It's just a standard. But let's take a look here. So it'll tell you. Okay, yeah. Here's what I was looking for. So the type of interaction, right? So to transfer, it's on average, doesn't say, but yeah, it's about like, what is it? $6, $5-6, something like that. And it goes to show you a Uniswap swap. Look at this. So a Uniswap V3 swap would be $43 or $40, whether it's rapid or, normal. And we're just seeing that the fees, like, hey, they haven't gone down. I mentioned this in my video yesterday, but Patrick, who I can also, let me put that in my note. So I don't forget, he's got a badass pendant, like I was saying, but he was talking about that so sure, the hex price went up before staking 4,033x, but the Ethereum gas fees, they used to be a penny, and now they're just excruciatingly high. They've gone up more than the price of hex. So that was at least according to him. I didn't verify it, but it does sound true. All right, let's scroll down. Thanks again, Toby, for that. Hiroshi Champelli says, sub-dollar tribe, wish I was sub-cent, ha ha ha. Yeah, and everyone kind of has that same, like, it's kind of like a hindsight regret or hindsight bias, like shoulda, coulda, woulda, And the thing that I've learned personally, not just like with investments, but kind of like with anything, right? Yeah, get what you get, don't throw a fit type deal. If you focus too much and dwell, and I'm not saying that you're doing this, but from what I've learned, maybe someone else can learn from it. But if you're focusing too much on like all the opportunities that you missed, you're kind of just going to be focusing on a whole bunch of negatives. And so why not turn that into the positives of, hey, I didn't get into hex sub penny, but like you mentioned, you're in sub dollar, and on the way to $100, like, yeah, just imagine a lot of people are going to be thinking the same thing. And you'll be in that position maybe a year from now when it's a lot higher. Yeah, what's up, Toby? That was cool. Brand shot Colin hex with his girl. Yeah. She wanted me to go to this dinner with her family, which is great. I like hanging out with them, but I got work to do, man. I got work to do after this, and I don't want to cut the stream short and stuff like this. So definitely got some work to do. So letting her do her thing, and I'm doing my thing. Plus, it's nice and air conditioned in here. And anyways, so Kaz says, dang, Toby ballin'. Yeah, Toby's great, man. He really provides a lot of value. Pulse is going to be huge. What's up, Arte? Arte Suave Angelo says, so much to be excited about. I'm amped for the future. Awesome, Toby. Yeah, it's awesome, right? It seems just like, can it get even better? Of course it can. We're just at the beginning. And so I think that's really, really exciting to see that like Richard's talked about, and like a lot of us do as well, but you have to reiterate it for some people to get it. But we really are still pre-viral, and it's just amazing to see that Hex is doing what it's designed to do, which is, for people that don't know, It's designed to pretty much be like global reserve currency, like the best store of value in the world type deal. But it's designed to do at least what Bitcoin's done, which is 6.5 million X, and then some. So it's really doing a very good job. And when you compare the 4,033X that we have now compared to the 6.5 million X that Bitcoin's done, and you kind of cross-reference those on a timeline, you just see how early we are. I don't care whether you got on day 33, which was like January 5th, which was like the cheapest, or whether you got in today, day 636. When you compare that chart that I was just saying to Bitcoin's price performance, we're all just a lot earlier than we think, and a lot of people, similar to Bitcoin, they had hundreds of thousands or thousands and they sold all of it, because with Bitcoin, you're not incentivized to lock it and stake it. And though you can time lock, but you're just not incentivized to. So if Identity Block, how's everyone doing well today? Hex Fetty says, now I'm checking on my pulse just to check my heart. Totally. Yeah, what I want is one of those little smartwatches. Now that I'm trying to get back into fasting and, cutting out bad stuff, sugar and all that stuff, getting the T levels back up. Those are really cool. I like those little smartwatches, and they're relatively priced, they're reasonably priced is what I'm trying to say. Yeah, so yeah, it's a good little pulse reference there. Hornet UK1, Hex to 33 cents. Come on. Yeah, it'll be here sooner than we know it. Hexicans are generous. That they are, man. That they are. Hex Fetty. What's up, Hexicans? Yo, Sinclair. Okay, cool. We got everyone saying what's up to each other. That's cool. DeFi, Yep. All right, it just skipped. So we're gonna go over the chat a little bit more quickly here, because I still got some stuff that I want to cover. I feel like I missed all the upside. Dude, were you not listening to what I was saying like 2 minutes ago? So, well, okay, I guess that was actually my fault. That was like 14 minutes ago that you commented that. But no, yeah, you definitely didn't miss. We all are very early, right? Whether you've been on the recipient end or been able to receive some of those 4,000X gains or hold the Hex for that long, you're just so early. And the thing is, too, about people that feel that way is, hey, maybe someone like myself got in early, right? But you don't know what my staking average is. What if my average is just the staking average? Or what if it's lower than the average? Well, the people like Whales and people like Randy Hilarski and just anyone that wants to not play catch up, but that wants to just continue delaying gratification, that have like a really good average stake length, those people are going to do significantly better, in my opinion, than some of the early people, because the T-share itself is what's the most rare thing. And when you can preserve it for the length of your stake, and if you can max it out or, do the 3,641 day, anywhere from 3,641 to 5,555, then you're just maximizing what the product was designed to do. And the beautiful thing is, too, is Richard initially wanted it to be 50-year locks, but the gas fees were just too hard to compute, and they would have been too high to do that. So now we have pretty much every 15.2 years, like no one can hold on to their shares forever. And that's what I'm trying to get at. Full Stoge, what's up, man? I like your artwork. Yeah, the meme of the day. Richard needs to show the people. Wait, let's see. Hexman says, Richard needs to show the people he helped get rich. Show the people he helped get rich? Oh, I mean, the community kind of does that itself, right? Like, shit, I've gotten rich from Hex, or whatever you want to call rich and wealthy and stuff like that. A lot of new millionaires made. Maybe I'm not understanding the question very well. But yeah, when you have testimonials and stuff like that, you really see the legitimacy of the product. It's not just like this Amway or cult weird stuff going on that everyone's kind of part of a tribe. Like, no, this is legit people with different backgrounds, different opinions, but happen to come together and see that, hey, this product does what it says it's going to do, and it's designed very well. Hey, what's up, Hex Live? This is one of Joe Hexotic's like best friends. So, shout out to that guy. I know he's been on stream a couple of times. So $4.99 says, thank you for all your hard work. Yeah, thank you too, man. I know you're a pivotal piece in the community. Hexiest man in the world. similar to crypto gym rat. The guy's pretty damn jacked, and he claims to be, he says that he's the most jacked Hexican. It'd be cool to see there be like a competition for, this guy saying that the hexiest man in the world. So that's anyways, good for you, man. It says hex to $1,000 within the next 5 years. Yeah, why not? Yeah, totally. I could definitely see that. Because yeah, like I said, when you got the demand that's just going up and up and up, the more people miss out on a penny or 25 pennies, stuff like that, the more that they'll want to buy it at $1 because it just hit their psychological number. But now you gotta deal with the supply, and now you gotta buy it on the market, stuff like that. And so the demand is just huge, but the supply is it's just a lot more rare than people think. And I think the same thing is for Pulse Chain too, right? A lot of us OGs, myself, kind of predicted that, hey, the OA is going to stake because there's no mechanism besides like the 1% allocation that had the financial centralization. And we all know that have been recipients of Hex or no traditional markets and stuff like that, know that that's really what makes things successful, right? Is the whales that don't need to sell, as opposed to everyone, cashing out and selling and dropping the price. So I think that's awesome. But yeah, $1,000 within the next 5 years. Hey, it's possible, man. Hey, anything's possible, right? Okay, what's up? Pulse Doge, so 5.55 euros, says Ballietbran, you said you were a dog person over a cat person. Respect. Little next to you as well. Blam. Your Hex clips are very useful. I shared them a lot. Keep up your good work. Hey, thank you, man. Thank you. It's something that I didn't really know how to like provide value in the beginning, besides just joining RG3 streams and then doing my own. But then I had seen Hex clips, and they're obviously the ones that inspired me to do it. And same thing, like I don't feel comfortable just, using their clips and then posting on my channel and stuff like that. So I wanted to learn like, how the hell do I do this? And so for me, I literally just press the Windows button, Alt, and then R, and it brings up like Xbox game bar. And the long story short is I can record the clip that I want to, and then just trim it down to size. And then I just throw a little referral link at the beginning. And there used to be like a 10-second intro. And then it was like, okay, getting feedback, listening to the feedback. And it's like, okay, let's lower this down to like 1.33 seconds. Need to get me a Hex Flex. Yeah, I mean, for me, it's just like, I'm not the most materialistic guy in the first place. And, hey, I'd love a Rolex and stuff like that. But I really got to think about what I do want for the Hex Flex, right? Because I'm not the kind of person in general to just blow my money on something just because I can. So yeah, when I do it, I want to definitely do it right and have it be something that's going to last a while. I mean, you look at what Richard Hart does. The Rolexes that he's buying, they're actually appreciating assets. And people would normally think like, oh, it's and by the way, Motley is live. If anyone does want to watch his Cherries art thing, he is live. Feel free to go there, go here, whatever you want. Just wanted to let you know. So yeah, that's the Hex Flex thing it's really cool. And Patrick, actually, Crypto Sparbu, we'll get into that right now since it's just relevant. 1 second here. There we go, Crypto Sparbu. And then I'll put it on the share screen right quick. Yeah, thanks again. I mean, it's so cool to see. I've been streaming consistently, stuff like that, for over a year. And I know people like Discourse Syndicate, RG3, they've been doing it consistently. Same thing with Hexo. But it seems like a lot of us right now, same thing with Richard, like I mentioned, it seems like all of our channels are kind of growing simultaneously. And some of us have different followers and stuff. So that's where the cross-pollination and cross-promotion can really be beneficial. But it's just exciting to see that, hey, not just 100 or 10,000 people know about Hex. Like now, a lot more people know about it. All right, let's get into what I was talking about. So this is Patrick. He goes by Hex Lion or Crypto. Their show it means like German savings account or something like that, German bank account. But Crypto Sparbu, something like that. Anyways, he's got a little Hex Flex this is cool. I like Hex Famous does some good work too. But so yeah, Patrick, and let me just get to the media. Little pro tip, if you don't want to go through all the stuff, just go to the media part. Yeah, so right here.
Hey guys.
It's kind of quiet.
Hey guys, what's up? I got one of my huge dreams fulfilled. Look at this. I got my Hex diamond chain. Bling, bling, bling all over the place. Hex Flex guys, let's start the magic carpet ride with the US road trip.
Let me mute it on my end. It was still playing. Yeah, so it's awesome, right? People like, especially people like Alan and so 8-Bit Hex and the guy that we just saw, Patrick, Crypto Sparbu. It's awesome to see people like myself retiring, and that's cool. People like Motley retiring, that's awesome. But it's cool to see those people because they're not even native to the country. Like one of them's from Austria, the other one's from Germany, I believe. But it's awesome to see them being able to fulfill their dreams, and be able to travel to states. And so for the people that don't know, those two, they're going to be driving all around the states, United States, the 50 states, in like wrapped vehicles. And I think one of them is going to be a pulse chain wrap, and the other one's going to be a hex wrap. And then the other one that someone else was going to drive was going to be something else that was maybe sub-sponsored or something like that. But it's really cool to see people like this making their dreams come true. I mean, being able to meet all of these hexagons. There was 330 officially hexagons at the Vegas conference, so that was awesome. And that was just the first year, right? Maddie was actually the first one to host not only the Hex conference, but then he had an online conference before that too. And so shout out to him for kind of pioneering and taking advantage, not advantage, but taking control is what I meant to say. Taking control of that, because he had seen something that wasn't there, and same thing with him. He had wanted to provide some value. So I'm kind of multitasking, right? Okay, I found it. So I was looking for what I was talking about, right? The travel around the states, and I got it right here on the share screen. So yeah, they're coming to a city near you. Let's get this going here. Yeah, 133 people watching. Thanks everyone for tuning in. Shout out for supporting Motley, and we support all the hexagons. I think even Wales was supposed to be going live today at like 5:30, something like that. So that guy, you want to talk about a streaming beast, dude? Wales only. That guy was really cool to see for a couple seconds in Vegas. Next time it'll be more, but that guy is a freaking streaming beast, dude. He's on Wake Up Hex. He's on every damn show, especially Quant Gang. Like, to commit that much time, really impressive. So let's get back to the point. So let's see. This was a response to a comment, but the point is this, right? Crypto Spar Booth, freedomtv.info. They're the ones that helped with the wrapping of the vehicles, and they got a couple newer vehicles that they're going to be going in. So this is going to be next week. So next week it's going to be September 4th, Vegas. I'm not going to read down the whole thing because that's just, you guys don't want to hear that. But the point is hey, take a screenshot or go watch this video later, or go to Alan's channel, which you can see right here, 8-Bit_Hex. And you can see that they're going to most likely be coming to one of the major cities right near you. And I think it would be a good opportunity, right, for people that might not want to go to the Hex conference or whatever. Well, guess what? Now you can, meet them in your backyard and in a public place and have a good time and enjoy the presence, because similar to what Wales had said, I personally didn't have any reservations on people were legit and not, but you never know. And anyway, so it's cool to see everyone in person. They're just as genuine as they are on the stream. So yeah, let me know if anyone's got any questions, because I see we're streaming for like an hour and 15 minutes. I know some of my streams will go 2 hours plus, stuff like that, but I just don't want this to go too long for those that might be watching the preview or the review, the rerun. So if y'all have any questions, feel free. I'm gonna scroll up on the chat and kind of just talk as I go along, but just want to let y'all know this isn't going to go on forever. Hexagon Greenhorn up and to the right. I like it. I like it. Rob Reutenberg says, I think he's talking to David. So David Morales, I think it's very real Morales. Chart seems to follow with there. Let me go up to David's comment because, okay. So Hosu says, I'm still buying today. I bought $500 at 22 cents. Hey, that's awesome, man. That's really cool. Congrats. That's a good average. And then they say, my average is nine pennies with 15,000 hex. That's awesome. Yeah, that's a damn good question. That's a damn good question. Where's your first hex flex vacation getaway? I'm not a, I would like to travel more, right? I'm Bellevue, Seattle, Washington State area, and have traveled a handful of states. But the only other country I've actually been to, not even freaking Canada. Like, come on, Canada's right there. I should definitely not make the excuse to not see them since they're so close. But anyways, I've only been to Mexico. But yeah, same thing with the other person about, I'm not going to get into it at all just because the second you start talking about politics and this and that, you'll just immediately alienate 50% of your audience. But I'm waiting for there to be, a little bit more easement on the travel. I know right now, if it's necessity, that's cool. But I don't know. There just seems to be so many restrictions anymore that are you even enjoying yourself when you're traveling, having to do all these things? So that's just my opinion. Not going to get into it too much. Ethan Gang, Hex feels like a dream. That's awesome, man. That's so cool. Yeah, it really is. It really is that opportunity and that analogy of the Bitcoin at $1, and $1 to $65,000. That's a lot. 65,000x. And that's just if you got in at $1, which people that got in at $1 might have thought that they were late, but guess what? You still had 65,000x. Yeah, BG Hex got to meet him in Vegas too. Him and his wife. That was cool. Says, I'll be there with you in Seattle for sure. Yeah, cool, man. I know you, I think Pulse Lord and someone else. And then Marion, it's Marion. She lives somewhere around here too. So yeah, it'll be a cool little meetup. It was fun to go to Vegas. I'd never been. So that was kind of like an experience within itself. And I didn't want to get, too saucy or anything because I wanted to obviously be professional and represent myself, but then, enjoy the experience and meet everyone too. But I'm saying that it's cool to meet people in your own backyard. But so anyways, Rob says, I think it's very real, Morales. Chart seems to follow Ethereum. According to Gerardo, $2 in October, I hope. But to me, it's not 100% real, but $1 definitely. Well, in my perspective and the way that I think of it, when I hear people say oh, do you think Pulse is going to do 1,000x, or oh, do you think Hex is going to do 1,000x? And it's yeah, they're designed so very well. The only question that you should be asking, or the only answer, I guess, is just what's the time frame that happens? Because it's going to happen. It's pretty much inevitable. It's written in the code, the supply and demand and the game theory and the economics of it, of both projects are so tight that you're just going to get those prices inevitably. And not saying Richard has his own marketing team and stuff like that, but someone is paying for those advertisements in UK. And he had kind of hinted at least that, oh, I had promoted something else popular. And then right after that, he had said, I think I got the clip, but then he had said oh, the thing that he had popularized was the ledger, right? The ledger hack, which he did. But someone took the time and money and all of that resources out of their day and stuff to promote something that could save other people that got wrecked, in the ledger hack and ledger scam. So that was really cool to see. Direct to mail advertising is very successful. It's a standard, process that works. Like I mentioned, different advertisements, right? We've seen Hex on newspapers. We've seen it in Fortune 500 magazine. I don't think they've ever talked about crypto, maybe aside from Bitcoin or something, but yeah, Fortune 500, all this good stuff. And it's still just the beginning, right? Imagine when you're just seeing it everywhere. And yeah, there's going to be a lot more where that came from. Even Inviting Freedom, that's her Twitter profile username. she was talking to someone about Hex, and they're like, "Oh yeah, I know about Hex. I actually follow the king of Hex or something like that." They said on TikTok, which is El Hexidente, and you talk about virality and is there room for growth? El Hexidente got 10,000 followers in, I think it was 2 weeks. 10,000 new TikTok followers in 2 weeks. And I know Joe Perry's, he was in my stream yesterday, and anyways, never really chatted with him, but I know we both follow each other. And anyways, dude, that guy, I was telling my girlfriend, like, dude, this guy that was in chat, he's got like over 1 million followers on, people that follow him or subscribers, whatever, on TikTok, and very successful in other ventures too. And I know Gary, Funding Jim, and Big Kurkowski, and someone else, one of someone else's friends, and Joe had all kind of met in Puerto Rico since they all kind of lived there. So I thought that was really cool to see Hexicans in person, and it's cool to be able to broadcast online and stuff. But you look at what Kinetics had set up and what Discourse Syndicate had set up with the former Congress lady. That's amazing, right? That's amazing press when people can see that, hey, there's something messed up in this system. I don't know what it is, but you look at Crypto Vince, it's like the only text that he has in his profile, which I've always said and agreed with, that you fix the money, you fix the world type deal, and he who controls the money pretty much controls everything else, right? It's like what Richard talked about with with war and stuff like that. So whether you're any country and have different fiat currencies, well, guess what? If they want to go to war, they don't have to ask the citizens' permission and vote and stuff like that. They can just, because where's the money come from is the question, and they can just print it if they want to. And so Richard's talking about a future where, like I mentioned, you're not trusting people or governments or entities or organizations, but you can trust the code and the math. And that's exactly what Tornado.cash is, which is also going to be on Pulse Chain. That's going to be nice because, not that I know, but some people that I know have said that the fees on Tornado.cash are pretty ridiculous as well. So that'll be cool to see. And, he's building one thing at a time. There's actually also one other thing real quick that some developer of Richard had posted a AMA. 1 second here. I didn't plan on actually sharing this. There's so much that goes throughout the week that I had totally spaced on this one actually. But I want to cover it because I have it right here. I'll be able to. Okay. Peace out, Pulse Doge. Stay black. The inner black in me sees the black in you. So, anyways, let's get back to it and not alienate everyone. So let's get to. So yeah, he says, I am one of Richard Hart's developers, designers, and admins. Then it says, ask me anything. His username is VBOHU. It was done 3 days ago, and I'm going to post it here in the share screen, and we can take a look at something I want to comment, right? Because when I mentioned Tornado.cash that Richard had helped fund, and I mentioned Hex and stuff like this, Richard is he's really good at finding efficiencies, but he's also good at developing systems. I think he even said he had a company called like Efficient Systems or something. And let's get to the share screen before I ramble too much more. All right, so this is what I'm talking about. This is the AMA. You can verify, corroborate the data yourself. It's on the Hex Crypto Reddit. So let's scroll down a smidge and get to what I want to talk about real quick. Because the person's talking about like, hey, I can't talk about everything that's going on, but there's like 10 other things that we are developing right now. So let me just scroll down. Bear with me for just a second here. Let's see. So yeah, they're kind of talking about the not the node, but the bridge and stuff like this, and kind of what they're working on. And while I scramble real quick to find that specific response that he had done, Kyle, I've got his YouTube channel in the link here as well that I'll post after this, and y'all can see what he's referring to, because he's talking about the admin key with the bridge and kind of the stuff that they're working on. Okay. 1 second here. So I know he had said like, okay, cool. I just found it. Okay. Thanks for the patience, everyone. Right? Doing it live. We'll do it live. Okay. So anyways, so someone says, next project, is it Richard Hart's stablecoin or is it an exchange? Richard's already mentioned that this was like over a month ago, that he had filed for the exchange license in Europe. So the person says, let's zoom in so everyone can see. So Richard Hart already applied for an EU exchange license. That's great. I just covered that. That is public information. All crypto exchanges / fiat on-ramps suck, and Richard Hart wants to build a better exchange. That's cool, man. You hear him talking crap about, and rightfully so, about Binance and just these different exchanges, right? That either get hacked or AML, KYC the heck out of the people. And then once they even supplicate and do that, they still can't even get their coins, like on Binance. So anyways, the person says Richard wants to build a better exchange. And then there are like 10 more cool projects in the making, but I can't talk about them. So let me mute myself real quick. All right, cool. The voice is getting a little raspy. I guess I need to keep up the water and stuff like that. Like I said, getting back into the gym on a consistent basis, fasting all day today, and guess the throat's just parched from talking all day. But EO2 Davis, yeah, I was just talking about you earlier. It's always good to see you and the wife or the girlfriend. Says, I just got back from the beach. What's up, guys? That sounds awesome, man. Being on a beach right now, that sounds real cool. But so what I was getting at earlier was that there's so much that Richard wants to do. And he's mentioned before that he has had 150 plus employee companies before that he had controlled and been like a manager of. And he wants to go back to that, right? He wants to not only is Hex designed to be, like I said, the global reserve currency in the future and stuff like that, which is a huge statement, right? To say that it's designed. And just because something's designed one way doesn't mean it's going to happen. But we see that it's happening. So it's really cool to see that. But Richard had mentioned 150, employee company before he had retired, and he wants to get back to that. And with these 10 projects that the person alludes to, that sounds like Richard is definitely just looking for the right developers and just getting all hands on deck to really do what Ethereum hasn't been doing and what other cryptocurrencies and projects and chains haven't been doing as well. So Richard has always been a honest guy, even though he's retired since 23 and, been very successful. That's great. But it doesn't mean that he doesn't have integrity. And we see that through his streams. We see that through all of the other Hexagon streams. You can fake something for maybe a couple hours or a couple days or weeks, but to do as many hours of streams as he's done, you can just really see that he's a genuine guy and that he wants the best for people. And that's why he chose the moniker, the last name Hart, because Richard's his first name, but Richard Hart sounds a lot better than Richard Schuler, because Richard Hart's like, oh, okay, Richard Hart, and it's kind of catchy. Alex Balazzi says, and let's get back to this. That was what I wanted to comment in that little share screen. Says, since Hex doesn't follow the pumps and dumps of Bitcoin and Ethereum, will Pulse be the same way? That's a good question. I mean, I know, that's a good question. I would guess probably yes. I mean, Hex hasn't always been decorrelated per se to Bitcoin and Ethereum and stuff like that. It had kind of just like over time started to be separate and started to slowly decouple and decorrelate from those pumps and those dumps. So yeah, I don't see why not. I definitely don't see why not. Yeah. Once again, if anyone's got any questions, you're new here or you got any comments and stuff like that, want me to touch up on anything, definitely let me know. Rob, he says, doing great, Ballietbran. Thank you. Yeah, and I can tell with the amount of people that are watching, which is awesome. Shout out to all you guys and gals. But there's a handful of new people, right? And one of the people had messaged me in my Twitter direct message, and they're saying, hey, Bran, I got like 18,000 Hex, and I do the math, and it's like $4,000 something dollars. I got 1.38 T-shares for 2 years, stuff like that. Do you think it can make me a millionaire? And it's like, man, these are tough questions to answer because because it's already set up in a certain frame. But what I had told him was that, hey, even people that had, and that was staked, right? He's got 18,000 worth of hex staked for 2 years. That's great. But if we see the future do what the past has done, then yeah, and in a couple of years he would be definitely a multimillionaire, because if $1,000 after the first 1,000x would turn you into a millionaire, and the guy's got 4 times 1,000, then with us kind of ramping up on the price too, in the S curve and stuff like that, and just gaining virality, I think that guy can definitely do well. But what I wanted to do while I was doing that was talking about Dev Kyle, right? Because I had sent the guy, he had said, hey, Brand, I like your videos, keep doing your stuff, which is great. I love getting that feedback, right? It's cool to know. And the other thing too, like the constructive criticism, right? It was nice to know that some of my intros for the clips were, I think it was like 10 seconds long at the longest, and the outro I just kept the same, because you can just go to the next video. But I've taken that criticism, the constructive feedback, to heart and changed it from 10 to 1.3. But with the person, he had asked me about staking and this and that, and how it all works, and just kind of some beginner questions. So I've got some resources for everyone that might not be familiar with all the information that an OG might be familiar with. So who is this sloth? I think it's a sloth. His little profile picture. Yeah, it's a sloth. That's funny. Anyways, who is this guy, right? His name is Dev Kyle. He goes by Rapid Proto Tripe on Twitter, and goes by Trihex here on YouTube. So who is this guy, right? He's an amazing developer. He's actually the person, because Richard had came up with the concept, right? Oh, let's do CD, but on the blockchains, and someone else has done it. Well, great. How do you mimic compounding interest? You can do it one of two ways. You can either have one and have it turn into multiples, or you can have one and have it turn into multiple fractions and keep going, and it's still compounding because of the way that it's dividing or multiplying. The compounding can be the same either way. So long story short, Richard had initially wanted it to do it the other way, and that was just going to be too encumbersome. I'll get to Daniel's question. That's too encumbersome for the gas, and just wasn't realistic for Quattro Cinco stakes. And so this guy, my point is, Kyle, he's the one that came up with the share rate in Hex. And props to this guy. I mean, like I said, he's got videos from a long time ago, but the one I referenced to earlier today, as you can see, I've watched the full video, but I need to go back, because developers, they're smart, and just like with Richard and with anyone, in my opinion, but sometimes you need to listen to someone multiple times before you get all the information, because it's just so information packed. So Dev Kyle says, why do bridges have admin keys? He kind of goes over that, hey, bridges are different than atomic swaps, which don't require admin keys, but are still swapping and stuff like this. So he doesn't have a whole bunch of videos, but the stuff that he does have is very well. And we can see that was his first video, but this was over a year ago. And he was talking about Uniswap, right? And this was really when Richard had started to popularize Uniswap. And it's just really cool to see that, those of us that have, it's not like you have to follow like a sheep or something. Like you can listen to the person, and then you can verify if that information is true or not, right? So that's what a lot of us have done with Richard, that can think for ourselves. The other ones that just naysay, those people took like 2 seconds and like 2 brain cells and just dismissed it. Like Andreas Antonopoulos, sometimes you have people that are too smart for their own good, and they just don't do the proper research, because it looks like a scam like everything else would be, but this time it is different, if that makes sense. Yeah, so Kyle is amazing. Go watch his videos. He's got some really cool topics, especially from a developer standpoint. When Richard was initially talking about how the share rate increases, things like this, I guess he wasn't quoting all of the information properly. And I go back to Kyle's video, and Kyle had kind of gotten it from the get-go. And so he goes into a little bit more detail that you might not get elsewhere. So Daniel's got a question. I'm scrolling up from here. Sorry about this little coughing. I don't know why I'm I'm not dehydrated, man. That's like a gallon of water so far. Daniel Garza says, and welcome, says, hello, I'm a newbie. What is good accounting on the end stake selection? Is that how to restake, or what's the cheapest way to restake? Well, so that's not how you would restake. So to answer one of them at a time. So actually, we'll start with good accounting. So when you end your stake versus good accounting, ending the stake actually mints the coins. It mints the interest. It completely stops it. That's fine. Good accounting stops the stake too, right? You're not going to be penalized. You've got 14 days from when your stake is supposed to end until you start getting a penalty. So 14-day grace period, but then you have a penalty of 1% of that stack for 100 weeks. So if you're apathetic, right, and you just forgot about it or whatever, then it's going to go to the people that have the shares and that are actually doing what they said they would. So the good accounting, all it does is instead of minting the coins, it doesn't mint the coins. And, I'm not even going to get into taxes here because I'm not a tax guy or any of that. And, with anything legal like that, probably, especially if you got some gains that you're going to realize and stuff, you're going to want to talk to a professional on that kind of information, which is why I don't cover that stuff here. But to their point, good accounting could be beneficial to some people in countries that would consider that a taxable event, the actual minting of the coins. So it can kind of help with that, right? It's the good accountant, hence the name. You can kind of delay that gain and stuff like that in the future whenever you want, but you're not going to be penalized. You're just going to be ending the stake, and it's not going to mint it. It's still going to be there. It's all there. It's still yours as long as you have your keys, but it's just not going to be in your possession yet. So that's kind of what it comes down to when it takes possession, stuff like that. I'll keep scrolling up. We got a lot of people in the chat still, man. Heck, 133 people still watching, and shout out to. I'll have to watch Motley's stream later, and shout out to him. I know, like I said, Wales. I think Wales only is going live in like a couple hours, but MF Hex says bear market is good for the Hex price. Since most Hex is staked, people can't sell without risking huge losses. So while Bitcoin and the rest dumps, Hex at least stays the same, which triggers buy pressure too. Well, yeah, and a lot of people think like that there's going to be like some massive dump or rug pull. But like I said, the entity itself, the OA and the sub addresses, it owns like 90, like Gunther the accountant. He's on Hex t.me/Hex trading. He's an actual accountant, and he's done the cross-chain data, the blockchain data to see what the OA owns. And the point is when Richard uses the analogy of, say, De Beers Diamond Company, which owned like 90% of the coffers for like multiple decades. Diamonds themselves are not rare. They're not. But the supply has been artificially withheld. They're not realizing everything on the market with the supply. So it's been artificially withheld to make it more scarce. And so anyways, and then you've got the advertisements, diamonds is this girl's best friends, and the proper advertisements to kind of get that demand. And hey, all of a sudden, diamonds are super duper expensive, but they're really not that rare. And so when it comes to, it's not the best analogy, but Richard's used it. So when it comes to Hex and when it comes to Pulse, Hex is about like 96% owned by the OA and stuff like that. And, it's got some stakes out there in the future. And the point that I'm getting at is what you're talking about. When you've got supply and demand and, say it dumps a little bit, there's always going to be people that trade and sell. I mean, I've seen many $1 million sell orders, which is great. It goes to show you Hex is liquid. These people that are thinking that there's going to be a rug pull, which is usually on liquidity, they're absolutely wrong. And if there was going to be that event, it would have been big payday. And it never happened. Not going to, not from what we see. Yeah, hey, Vogel, let me link it to you. I should have done that, dang it. I just sent it to the screen share, but let me, 1 second here. I got you. Yeah, that's Kyle. That's Dev Kyle. I tried looking at it too, and the reason I found his channel, even though I was subbed, because I knew he had a video called Bacon Wrapped Hex Steaks. And anyways, talking about tradable shares and stuff. So yeah, that guy goes into a lot of detail. Definitely check him out. So yeah, there's the link right there. But yeah, supply and demand. Pulse itself, even though it's got this ginormous supply, right? That just shatters people's paradigms of what they think that their current reality is. It's really like, just because it's supply doesn't mean it's supply that you can buy, right? Same thing with Hex. Richard's talked about the same thing with Hex. Like, oh, sure, Hex has, this amount liquid, but how much of it, like a lot of it's just that OA being very generous to everyone by allowing them to stake and earn a killer interest. And so, yeah, a lot of that supply is just most likely never going to be realized. I mean, when it comes to like selling and dumping, because why would you? You're already so successful in all these other ventures. Just like Satoshi, right? Satoshi's got Bitcoin's supposed to have like a 21 million coin cap, hard cap, and that'll end sometime in the future when all of it's mined. But yeah, same thing with Bitcoin is the same thing with the Hex OA or the De Beers Diamonds analogy, or Jeff Bezos or Elon Musk, or traditional markets. And so what it really comes down to is a lot of people, especially in crypto, like crypto is not the brightest of the brightest, like people like Richard obviously are, but there's a lot of people in crypto that just really don't know what the heck they're talking about. That's why they think market cap is some like amazing number to look at and amazing metric to look at. So it's cool to be able to at least educate people, and for myself that has had fallacies, false beliefs and stuff like that before. Obviously you got to remain humble enough to realize like, hey, when you need to update your worldview and your paradigm. And Richard, I've had so many like aha moments, so many light bulb moments when I've just listened to Richard multiple times. I listen to his streams multiple times, and I don't entertain myself any other way when it comes to TV or football and movies and stuff. So I'm happy to get an education from a literal genius, a Mensa, part of the Mensa Foundation or a Mensa Society. BNC Capital, nice to see you, says, so will PHEX have tradable shares to create a Hex version of Grayscale? So I don't think that's been, man, I was doing some back workouts and I need to get my core back and to get the abs back, man. The lower back's a little bit sore. I know that's not even relevant to your question, but stay healthy. Don't slip just because you're making money and into bad habits. So your health definitely is your wealth, aside from your wealth and relationships too. But anyways, Pulse Chain will have that availability and opportunity, I believe, what Richard has mentioned. And maybe that's one of the things that he has planned out of the 10 items, the 10 different projects that developer was talking about. And honestly, since the other person had mentioned that about Kyle, that I didn't link it, I don't even know if I linked this developer. And it's on the Hex Reddit, the subreddit. And so it would have been removed if it wasn't legitimate. And the guy's got the little asterisk that he's part of the channel. So anyways, that's there too. If anyone wants to double click that link, I believe that is what Richard has said, is that capability would be more feasible on Pulse Chain. Ogden Thornton family. Is good accounting cheaper than an end stake? It is, but it doesn't mean your coins. So it's cheaper because it's calculating less from what I've seen. And I think I've good accounted one just because it's like $25 worth of Hex. Like I shouldn't have even good accounted it. I should have just let it burn. But the point is I believe it is. But it's really just used for that purpose, like I mentioned, that taxation purpose of when you want to realize the possession. Because otherwise you might as well just end the stake, pay the fee, because the gas fees aren't getting any cheaper if people don't see that. I mean, us OGs remember penny to end stake, even after a month, a week, but they're not going down. So if you end stake and you don't want, like I said, not to get into taxes too much, but you don't want some certain event, well, maybe when you do realize that you want the coins, you want to mint them, maybe the fee to end it is like significantly higher. Who knows? It's just speculation that I'm thinking about. It's specifically for that purpose. Yeah, yep, I linked you, so you're good. Yep, already answered that. No, you can't. Nope. each stake is like its own entity. So can you do a partial mint in good accounting? No, you cannot. Oh, someone the same guy that I had linked the Kyle's channel. Kyle not only developed the mechanism for the T-share, but he created a layman's guide. And a lot of us OGs, we looked at the layman's guide like a couple months when it came out, but that's not useful and helpful to those of you that are watching right now. That are like, well, what the heck is this? So, anyways, let me shout out to Motley. He's got like 43 people watching, and we always got Hexicans everywhere. We got people like Wales going at 5:30, so in an hour and 45 minutes. But yeah, let me go into, so for everyone that doesn't know, because I got a lot of links, not to be a shill, but you might as well plug information that's useful. So in my description, always, whether it's me doing a clip, when I'm doing a clip, it used to always be there, the original link on like the 4th tab, and now it's like front and center. So no one can question where the clip is or if I gave them credit. No, it's there. So when I do clips, the original video, even if it's my own, is at the very top line. But then, and I shouldn't put it at the very bottom, but the point is I have the Hex layman's guide always on each video that I do. But I'm going to do some work for you guys, and I think I actually already had it pulled up. I did all that work for nothing. Yeah, I already had it pulled up. Let me show you just real quick what the layman's guide is for those that might not be familiar. Because like I said, I don't really have a everyone streams differently. Every Hexican kind of provides their own little value in their own content. And for me, I like to talk, and clearly, but then also like be able to provide information for questions that I hear a lot. And you want to be able to, like I said, have your weakest link be damn strong. So let's go to the share screen here. And then, let me make sure I linked it. Let's do that first so y'all have a reference to look at as well, aside from just my screen. So at the Google Doc, it's something that developer Kyle, like I said, did the T-share rate. He also created this as well. Let's just do a brief overview. Like I said, we're already getting to the 2-hour mark, 13 minutes for a 2-hour stream. So I do want to do it under 2 hours. So maybe a hard cutoff in, 12 minutes, something like that. But let's just cover real quick, kind of like an overview. So who cares about edit access? I don't need it. But the point is it kind of goes over everything, right? So it talks about the pre-launch, which was like the first 351 day. It was called like the launch phase. And that had the big payday. It had all these other things. So it kind of goes to show you how the calculation is done. I love it. Not only do they tell you, but they show you with the math how the equations are done, stuff like this. And if you really want to get into the nitty gritty as well, aside from just this, you can go to hex.com just go to hex.com. And there's a section that says like security or something. It's somewhere. I don't know since they updated the website, but you can read the audits. You can read what the auditors had said according to the security audit. I don't think you can see the financial audit, but you can at least see a couple of the audits for those people like myself that are like detail oriented and want to make sure everything's legit. So yeah, you can see it's talking about that was the adoption amplifier. That was a long time ago. It talks about staking. What is Hex? It's it's similar to, it's like a recreation of a CD, of a time deposit, except it's an ERC20 token smart contract. So he's got that. He's got the information for the pre-launch. Like I said, I'm just going to go over the bulleted points. But Bitcoiners before December 2nd, 2019, if they had it in their own possession, they would be able to free claim. And so it kind of goes over, this is what I was looking for. So the staking, right? So it goes over the shares. This right here is cool, the share price. This is what people should maybe be looking at if things just aren't clicking for you. And maybe they are. Maybe this is just redundant, and maybe you just leave the stream because this is all information that you've heard before. But like I said, I think it's important for people to be able to understand how it works, right? Because then that, hey, if you end stake, now there's like a sign that says like warning, stuff like that. But if you end stake early, like you're definitely going to, you're not going to get all of your deserved interest and principal back. You're not. I've got the link. Thanks once again. I get bits of it, but his streams are too long. Then I lose it. I don't know which person you're talking about. Would you recommend buying Hex now? So I'm not recommending anything, but I like to put myself in your shoes or the person that you're wanting me to recommend to. So yeah, that's the little layman's guide there. Y'all have the link. You can go to that if you want, because we got like 9 more minutes and then we're going to end the stream. Would I recommend buying Hex now? Let me tell you something. So if I was aware of Hex and I didn't have any, and you want to get it, I personally don't think it's going to be going down anytime soon. When we look at the actual price chart, we can see, oh, sure, yesterday it was nearly 24 pennies, and today, oh my God, it's 22, it's 21.9. That's very, very minimal price movement for what you're getting in return with the product, right? The product itself it's best optimized, in my opinion, for the staking. And so to answer your question, would I recommend buying it now? I tell you what, man, if I didn't have at least one T-share or something like that, I'd be doing everything I could to start getting that stake, because the amount of interest that you earn over time, it's all paid out in Hex. So like a savings bond, like the one I talk about a lot growing up, my grandpa, who's still alive, he's like 91, but he would give us a 15-year maturation savings bonds that were a $25 principal. So 15 years later, they mature to 50. But the point is, you're being paid out in the same currency, the US dollar, the fiat currency, that they're inflating the hell out of anyways. So, you're sure you're getting double your principal over 15 years, but are you really getting, the value of what you paid for? No, you're actually diluting the hell out of yourself. Even though the numbers are more, you're getting less. So I said all that to say, when it comes to Hex, you're getting paid out in the form of Hex. Each individual T-share, and even if you don't have a full T-share, that is what is the replication and the mimic, thanks to Kyle and Richard, of the compounding interest. And so if you wait, maybe you think the price of Hex is going to be lower, so that's why you think you should wait. So that's the price of Hex in dollars, right? But the price of Hex and the price of a T-share in Hex is what I meant to say, never goes down. And I can prove it to you right here. So not only does that say the same information in the layman's guide, but you can go to apphex.win/charts. That's easier than graphx.rocks. So many people mistyped it, including me. But so here you have the T-share. We could see it was all the way back at 60 cents back in the day, January 5th, something like that. Yeah, $1 is what that's saying. But so you have the price of Hex, which right now, 22 cents. But then you have the amount of Hex that it takes for a T-share. And when we scroll down, this is where the magic is. So the share rate. So this is how many Hex you need for a T-share at the current price. And you can see right here, in November, it used to be 10, 11,000 Hex per T-share. Well, that big payday ramped up the actual share rate. And so the point is you can see this right here is what's actually mimicking the compounding interest. You see these little, divots right there, those little humps and stuff. I mean, this is a big hump, big payday was just absolutely insane for those that had T-shirts there before. But what I'm trying to say is, if you think that the cost of Hex right now is going to go down in dollar value, that's fine. Maybe you're just going to hold it liquid. I don't know what you're going to do. It's really relative to your own scenario, your financial situation. But if you want to stake, today is always the best day in terms of you'll never get a cheaper T-share rate in Hex. That number never goes down. You don't see it go from 18,000 to 10,000. No, you see the opposite. You see it started at 10,000 Hex per T-share, and then now it's at 18,000 something. So I personally, I've got some people that I told them about Hex sub penny, told them about it during big payday, and they never invested. Thankfully for them, since I'm so gracious, I had the uni airdrop, and I ended up hooking up the girlfriend, you know, a lot of family members and friends. And so they still have Hex from when I'd given it to them. But it's also like like Gary says, he doesn't like to do that because then they kind of take it for granted. They don't really see how the process works. So now 25x later, they're wanting to buy Hex. And yeah, I personally think it's a good time, right? That's just my opinion. Think about this. It really comes down to your time frame. When you look at Bitcoin used to be, like I mentioned, a penny. It used to be under a penny. It used to be $1. Well, it went up 6.5 million X from a penny. And so let's just put Hex in that exact scenario. Since Hex used to be under a penny, you know, it used to be a penny and now it's, you know, 24 cents, 23 cents. But anyways, if you literally correlate Hex to what Bitcoin's done, okay, you know, you're asking, and it's a reasonable question. I'm not like, you know, attacking, but so if you think about it this way, you know, you're asking like, oh, is it a good time to buy? And we've already done 4,033x, but then Bitcoin did 6.5 million. So you're 4,033 out of 6.5 million. That's a lot more X's to go. You know, sold on double. Well, guess what? We got a lot more doubles to go. So personally, I think it's a good time. And the point is like, you know, you don't have to do anything. Like you literally earn passive income. Bitcoin mining and any other business that you earn income, that you generate income, it all has like an overhead, right? What is the cost for you to get that? Whether it's a landscaping company, oh, okay, the overhead is the gas and the, you know, obviously the employees and stuff, but like the machines and tools to get there, to get to that final dollar. But with Hex, since it's proof of stake, there is no overhead. The only overhead is, hey, you know, there is none. Like I said, it's similar to Bitcoin mining, except the beautiful thing about this, and this is why the Bitcoiners are just so naive, is I don't care if you like the environment, if you're a tree hugger or not, Bitcoin is harmful on the environment when it comes to the electricity being used, the pollution, stuff like that. So like I said, whether you agree with whatever, that's not the point. The point is Hex is that, you know, that newer generation, newer kid on the block type deal that's just so much better. And so we've seen how Hex has performed with the Ethereum chain. It's kicked ass, right? But think about how it's going to perform on Pulse chain for those people that just have $100, $25, something like that. You know, right now it's impossible for them to be onboarded because the fees are just too high. And so yeah, Bitcoin, well, it actually went up 6.5 million X. Yeah, because like a penny to 65,000. But maybe you're just saying that's what the price is right now. I don't know. I like to use low to the high, but yeah, either way, 5 million, 6.5 million, doesn't even matter. It's a lot. Basad, are you near me? Maybe DM me if you don't want to put that out there. But dude, I used to mountain bike all the time. I tell you what, you know, you need a good core and stuff like that. I got a little bit of working out done today, but after I do this, you know, I got dumbbells. I'm gonna go downstairs and actually use the gym, so that'll be cool. Brianne, get a sweet mountain bike and let's go cruise. All right, this might actually be over 2 hours. Let's just see if there's any other last second questions, and then I promise we'll be done. Have any Hexicans made a T-share tracker app that shows? Oh, yes. Here is the answer to your question. So you can go to Staker.app. You can go to referral links and stuff and stake on your mobile phone. That's great. But for the people that want to do it on computer, you can do it that way as well. So let me just answer your question without, you know, mumbo jumbo. So go.hex.com. I need to make sure I'm not using the main wallet. Anyway, so go.hex.com. All right, I guess it's wanting me to unlock MetaMask. 1 second here. Please, God, don't be a main wallet. Okay. So let me refresh a roux now that it's unlocked. Okay, cool. Thank God. I got one account that's not connected to my Trezor that's a little bit bigger than I'd like to share on the screen right now. But anyway, so yeah, here's the answer to your question, right? So you have the price of Hex in dollar that's just gone up 4,033x. But if you do the math on the T-share, which is what that other website had too, the apphex. Graphx.rocks, apphex.win, I think, /charts. Yeah, streaming for over 2 hours. It's easy when I'm, you know, trying to help out and answer questions that that I know the answers to. But let's get back to this. So this is what you're looking for, right? The lowest cost of a T-share, and I think it'll actually tell you too. One second, let's do a little down arrow. Okay, yeah. So you can see. So 61 cents. It was actually 60, but anyways, 61 cents was the lowest cost of a T-share, day 33, January 5th, 2020. And we can just see that it's just been nothing but up and to the right. And part of this is that function that I was telling the other person about of that compounding interest and of the actual share itself. Is that share it's more rare than a Bitcoin. If you have a T-share, and it depends on how long you have it for, right? Like, oh, cool, more rare than a Bitcoin, but you only had it for a day? What? Like, come on. You only had it for a month? Like, the end stake fee is not even going to make up for that month of interest that you earned. And so if I had something that was more rare than a Bitcoin, which what I consider T-shares are, then heck, I want those things for a long time. I want that to continue earning lots of interest. And anyway, so yeah, this has gone up more than the actual price of Hex in dollars. And you can just see that's because like I said, the amount of Hex that it takes for a T-share never goes down. And every time that someone ends a stake that realizes like more profit than has been seen in the past before, or even if that didn't happen, this is the part that I think Richard botched that Kyle mentioned. Either way, that share rate, it's just constantly going up. And so whether the calculations of how it goes up or not doesn't really matter. You can just see that it's going up in the cost of Hex. And, for the other person that's waiting, like I said, maybe instead of 20, let's just say you bought the top, say 24 pennies. Well, maybe instead of 24 pennies, you wait till 20. But let's just say Hex hits 20 pennies in a month or two. Okay, so you've literally gone a month or two just to save 4 pennies per Hex. You've got a month or two of the actual, not only you're not earning interest, but of that actual share rate in Hex climbing up against you. So you think, someone might think that, oh, I'm getting a better deal, because you might think it's just like a one-way street here. But no, you got this other factor too. And that's what really makes it so synergistic, is they work very well. All right. 5 more minutes, I promise. And then I'm really done. I don't care if I'm in the middle of answering someone's question. Just kidding. Vogel, it's still very early. Even at $1, it will still be early. Totally. Yeah, I mean, if you look at what a T-share is generating, I think it's like $1.3, something like that. So if you have one T-share, like I said, it always depends on how long you hold it for and when those stakes end. But on average, a T-share is paying about like $1.3 a day. So, hey, you got $1,000? Oh my God, you're earning over, if you have 1,000 T-shares, which I know is a lot, but a lot of the people that got in early got many. Anyways, you have 1,000 T-shares. Well, guess what? You're literally at today's rate in Hex, the cost, you're getting paid over $1,000 a day. And so then it's really like, oh my gosh, like this is where the numbers really get real, because hey, you're earning $1,000 a day. Maybe you're earning $40,000 a year, say at your job. Well, 365,000 is a lot more than 40. Those numbers continue to climb, depending on how many T-shares you have and when you got in. That eventually everyone will be at that point where it almost is a liability to keep going back to work. That's why I took a 2-month break before retiring. Was like, man, I'm just earning too much interest. Kind of had a sudden wealth syndrome. Needed to take a break from the 40-hour work week, and thankfully I did, because it was really easy to see that this was the right decision. And like I said, the work doesn't stop. It's just getting started. T-share rate goes up nearly every day. Yeah, there's a since we're done with that question, we got like just a couple minutes. There's a Hex whale bot. Oh, cool. Pulse Donkey, thanks, dude, for retweeting. He says, anyways, he just says he's watching me. So shout out to you, dude. I always like him. Okay, cool. So yeah, this is the Hex whale bot. Yeah, to Basod's point, however you pronounce it. Maybe you'll correct me one day. But this kind of shows you big movements, right? Bitcoin has it, and other markets have it too. So you can see, $250,000 just sold 10 minutes ago. And guess what? Like the price was like not even affected very much. And the other thing I want to say before we end is, if you are going to sell, if you are going to buy, it doesn't make sense to buy on the market. Like it only does if you don't care about missing out on a little bit and you think it's going to keep going up. But what I'm trying to get at is if you go to, let's see. You go to matcha.xyz. So it is Basot. Okay, cool. I always thought so. I heard someone else say Basot. Anyways, if you go to something like matcha.xyz, or I think it's just 1inch.io, or maybe it's app.1inch.io. Anyways, you can set limit orders, right? So you're not paying the major fee for that swap. That's an on-chain transaction, and you're just kind of getting the price as it fills. And so you can definitely save out some serious money by just doing that, especially when you factor, like I said, you don't have to do a Uniswap swap. So yeah, let's get back to what we were talking about. So yeah, you can see all the major buys and sells, and guess what? Hey, you can click here and it'll take you right to Etherscan, and guess what? You can see their Ether address that they just sold with, and you can even plug this into hexinfo.io, or the other one, the apphex.win/charts. You can plug in this address, and if the person has stakes, it'll tell you how many shares they have. So you can see like, oh, okay, this person just sold, $250,000, and guess what? They have, another 10 million worth of hex coming out in 2 weeks. Are they going to sell? You can kind of use that on-chain data that no other cryptocurrency has, that transparent, honest data that can kind of, help with your decision making. So yeah, it does the buys, the sells, it does the nukes. So this is actually in hex. It's not in dollars. Took me a couple days to realize that, but so 160,893 hex were nuked. The person had served 299 out of 3,650. So that's the other thing too. When we call it a truth engine, it really is, right? You can lie to other people and do this and that, but you can't lie to the. Let's get this out. You can't lie to the smart contract. So Toby says, yeah, sky is the limit. It really is. $1,000 hex. I mean, hey, you said within 5 years. Shit, I think that's possible. Let's just go with what we already talked about. I mean, because yeah, obviously it could be shorter or longer, but most likely it's probably going to be the former, not the latter. Anyways, a couple more questions. I have limit orders to buy on now. Toby, I'd be curious. Maybe you don't want to put this out there, but yeah, either matcha.xyz or 1inch.io is what people use, what I've used. Personally, I've had success with matcha.xyz, but at the end of the day, hey, it's very similar. It's aggregating data just like other things, and it's kind of giving you the best price, especially when you do a limit order. You're not just market selling on the liquidity that person has. Where am I going to be able to get the Pulse token? So the main net's going to launch, or the test net's going to launch whenever Richard and everyone else gets the bug out, the hang out. So the test net will happen first, and then after about a month or so, Richard had mentioned, I hope it's not longer than that. They should have enough time. But anyways, test net for a month, and then after a month, they've had enough time to develop, and then hey, mainnet. So probably from what Richard has said in the past, probably like a month after the testnet's launch would just be my guess. Who knows what the actual reality is. But so to answer your question, where were you going to get it? Hopefully you have MetaMask, because what it's going to do is wherever you sacrifice from, if it was a Ethereum virtual machine, say it was ETH that you sacrificed from, well, it's going to credit the address that you sacrificed from. And you better hope that where you sacrificed from was a wallet that was either cold storage or a MetaMask or something that you have the possession of, and not, at least for Ethereum, not like on an exchange, like, oh, let me sacrifice from Coinbase, because other networks it works, but not with the Ethereum, the tokens. You'll pretty much be shooting yourself in the foot and begging Coinbase on your hands and knees, please give me what I sacrificed for, and they don't have to, So yeah, it'll show up in if you have MetaMask, it'll show up in whatever wallet that you sacrifice from, whatever address. And what'll happen is, I'm not going to share it on my screen, but so say with MetaMask, and that's like the last question. So say with MetaMask, right, you've got the top network, this like main and stuff like this, there'll pretty much just be a drop down where if you've ever used Binance Smart Chain, I never have, but other people have, you put in a couple data points and it'll link it to the network that you're on, which is going to be pointing towards Pulse Chain. And then once the mainnet launches, all of that, you'll be able to have your liquid pulse that is there. And then, from what you want to do with that, that's your own opinion. That's your own, prerogative. Matcha.xyz, but set your price. That's what I was going to say. Yeah, set the price a little bit higher than you think. It will dip to. You have to realize the seller is absorbing the gas fee. That's how the limit orders are free. Yeah, good point. Hey, what's up, Rick? 305. That's cool, man. Hell, great show, extremely informative. That's awesome, man. Like when I was told, or when I was suggested to, kind of find your own little path and stuff like that. I don't know. I've always just liked the direct conversations with the chat, unless there's something major going on that day that everyone wants to talk about. So yeah, happy to hopefully provide some more information. We got Kyle, his links are in there, and the actual stream above in the chats. We have the layman's guide that he wrote, and some other resources as well. The graphx.rocks or the apex.win/charts. And to the person that was asking for the T-share, like, is there a chart of the T-share? Well, hey, there is. And so I'm happy that you're able to see that on go.hex.com. The only thing is, if you're asking that, you might not have MetaMask. Like, you'll need to do what I did, which is connect your MetaMask to be able to see that. Or you can just go to apex.win/charts, and then you don't need to connect MetaMask. But it's a different website, so it's laid out a little bit differently. Okay, so that was the second last question. This is the last one, I promise. Brian Truitt. Do your stakes carry over to Hex? For example, 1,000 Hex stake, snapshot, then you'll have 1,000 Hex staked, or you'll get 1,000 PX. So yeah. So say you have 1,000 Hex staked. Whatever state the Ethereum network is, and when they do the block height, is what you're going to get. So if you have Hex staked, if you have one T-share staked, and they do the block height thing, well, guess what? You're going to have that same T-share staked for the same duration, all that good stuff. All that's going to be the same. The T-share rate's not going to reset to zero. Still going to keep going up and keep ratcheting. But yeah, that'll be the same as what you currently had on Ethereum. And same thing with your liquid, right? I've got maybe like 3%, 2% Hex liquid. Hey, maybe have an emergency or something like that. You never know. So I always keep a little bit liquid in case something like that happened. Thankfully, it never has. So it's like just continues to appreciate. But anyways, yeah, that'll be copied over as liquid if the snapshot happens and your Hex is liquid. And same thing with, I don't know much about the other tokens and whatnot, but yeah, if you got Link and all this other stuff, that'll all be copied over. As far as their other little platforms go, like if you can do staking with Link and stuff, I don't know anything about that. I don't know if that stuff will be copied over too, or if so, they'll probably need a front end. But yeah, that's it. Thank you, everyone. You'll have 2 stakes going on after Pulse Chain launches. Yeah, you'll have your initial stake on the Ethereum chain, and then that same stake, the same everything will be copied over. So the amount of T-shares you have, all of that, the end date's going to be the same. The only difference is going to be a lot faster, a lot cheaper. $1 before 2022, totally. I think so. Do you think there will be a big sell-off after the snapshot? Richard did mention that it's probably going to be a range. It's not going to be a specific day or date, because then that could have like a buy the rumor, sell the news. But we haven't even had testnet. We haven't even had the testnet announced, and we're already at 23 cents, something like that. I think personally that my opinion that when the testnet is announced, which everyone's been waiting for, I think you're going to see a big jump in the price of Hex, because that's when hey, we're getting close. Maybe a month or something like that. So I don't know. Hey, yeah, there's people that like to speculate, just like my brother did with Big Payday, except he screwed up and didn't even stake for that one day. There's always going to be those traders. As far as the big sell-off goes, Honestly, I wouldn't think so, because I think even the naysayers that just wanted to speculate on Hex or Pulse Chain, even they're coming around to being like, oh, I was initially going to sell after the snapshot, but now, like, I look at my Bitcoin bag or I look at my Link bag, and those are going down, but Hex is just going up. And, it's kind of like a common sense, like after a while, it kind of just rubs off on you. So, yeah, I don't know much about Atomic Wallet. No, I mean, I don't know. Like, I think Atomic Wallet, you're fine, but pretty much what it is Atomic Wallet needs to be able to be like multi-chain capable. So MetaMask it's like you got Web 3.0. This is like Crypto 3.0 when it comes to the blockchain wallet software. So some wallets are just like, oh, you can withdraw, you can deposit, and then send and stuff like that, send and receive. But other wallets like MetaMask, you can, like I said, interact with the different networks and test nets and stuff like this, and that's what you want to make sure that it does have. So yeah, I would definitely maybe go into t.me/pulsechain.com. Yeah, maybe go to the Telegram pulsechain.com, and maybe someone else can answer it, because I know there's a lot of people that have asked that, but I've just stuck with MetaMask because Richard mentioned that such a long time ago. What's up, Bran? Ending the stream is what's up, but good to see you. We'll catch up next time. You're awesome, Bran. Why does Investment Answers dislike Hex? Is that a specific person you're referring to? I don't know. I mean, hey, everyone's got their own opinion of why they dislike it. Later, Toby, I'm about to bounce too, man. Oh, Tyrone Woodley. Sounds good. My brothers are into it. Hey, I don't like football and stuff, but I'd rather watch, fighting before I watch that or a movie. So, yeah, to the other person, everyone's got their own motives. You got people like Eric Wall and stuff like this. And hey, he works for a hedge fund, or he's a hedge fund manager. Like, of course, he's not going to like promote his competition, because he's not even, he's not getting a kickback. Why do you think, not stockbrokers, but why do you think people that are like financial advisors, why do you think they want to get people into certain certain things, like, oh, sure, you can do your own thing and I can help you invest that, but you should really go with these ones. And they're saying that because they're going to get a kickback or benefit or commission, so that's usually what happens. Some people hate on Hex because, I don't know. I mean, a lot of what I've realized, like, racism or hating on this or that, like, a lot of this comes from ignorance, and like, hey, you really don't know the full side of the story, but you're kind of just blabbing without doing your own research, So that's all I have to say about the people that want to craft talk Hex, because hey, it's proven itself over time. So that was the last comment. Thank you, everyone, for I went 17 minutes past when I thought I was going to. Yep, I can definitely talk. So thanks, everyone. Thank you to Toby, to Sinclair Crypto, and then I'm blanking on the other person, but you know who you are. Thanks, guys. See you on Wednesday, Nights of the Crypto, 7 p.m. I don't know whose channel it's going to be hosted on. It might be mine, but just stay tuned, and we'll post it for everyone to join. Peace out. Have a good Sunday. Thanks all for tuning in. Big following. So.